Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. If you're a future site manager studying at Genesis International College, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving straight into topic 3 of your CPCCBC5010 unit, which is all about managing the supply of materials and equipment. If you want to successfully manage a construction site, knowing how to handle your resources is absolutely foundational. So, use this explainer as your essential study guide to master these logistics. Picture this. You're the one in charge, looking out over a massively busy job site just like this one. Cranes are moving, structures are going up, and the buck stops with you. You're ultimately responsible for making sure the exact right resources are available at the exact right time. It's a huge juggling act. Aside from the actual building and keeping everyone safe, you have to manage the physical building blocks and the heavy machinery required to put it all together. To get you ready for that responsibility, we'll follow the journey of a resource, starting with core resources, moving into ordering and receiving, then storing and protecting, and finally, managing your plant and equipment.
All right, Section 1, the core construction resources. Let's build our foundation.
First things first, we've got to clearly draw a line between materials and plant and equipment. Materials, well, those are the physical substances that actually become part of the building itself. Think timber, stone, or thatch. But plant and equipment, that's the heavy machinery and tools, like your forklifts and cranes, that you actually use to put those materials together. And as a site manager, you absolutely have to know these materials inside and out. It's non-negotiable because their properties dictate exactly how you handle them. Take concrete, for example. It handles heavy compressive loads like a champ, but its tensile strength is pretty weak, meaning it might crack. Or timber. It's fantastic for sustainability because of its low embodied energy, but if you don't treat it, you're inviting pests and mold right in. And you've got to keep in mind things like cement production, carrying environmental risks, or that sand needs rigorous selection. You really have to learn the unique personality of every single material you work with. Moving on to Section 2, ordering and receiving materials. Let's talk about getting this stuff onto your site. So, what actually makes a good supplier? Because you definitely can't just pick the first vendor that pops up in a search engine. You need a reliable, long-term partner for your project. To find that partner, you need strict evaluation criteria. Always ask yourself, if our project schedule suddenly accelerates, does this supplier actually have the inventory and capacity to keep up? You've also got to check their turnaround time. Does the time between order and delivery really match up with your project's Gantt chart? And of course, take a hard look at their pricing. Hunt for discounts and make sure they offer solid technical support for specialized stuff like HVAC systems. But hey, it's not just about the supplier, it's about your ordering strategy too. For instance, buying larger batches usually drives down your unit price and saves on transport. Like your study guide points out, buying 2 batches of 5 pieces is almost always better than buying 5 batches of 2. Plus, knowing the dimensions, the production time, and whether something needs assembly after it's delivered, that's going to save you from some serious labor shortages down the road. All right, Section 3, storing and protecting materials. The delivery truck has arrived, so what happens next? Well, look at a delivery like this. We're talking cement bags, timber, paint, tools, the whole shebang. You can't just dump all this in a corner and cross your fingers. Each item reacts completely differently to the environment, so they require unique, tailored protection strategies. You've got to shield this stuff from the elements, wind, sun, and especially moisture. Remember what we said about material properties? If you leave a pallet of cement exposed to moisture, it's going to harden prematurely. You've basically just ruined the batch, and you're going to have to buy it twice. On the other hand, you have materials like sarking, which are naturally water-resistant, pliable membranes, though you do have to watch out for heat building up between it and the insulation. Know your materials to protect your materials. Proper storage also means smart stacking. You've got to explicitly instruct your team to follow these steps to the letter to avoid safety hazards or product warping. Stack things horizontally and evenly. Always use timber spacers for air circulation. Double-check the weight-bearing capacity of your storage area, and never, ever exceed the manufacturer's maximum stack heights. And a quick safety reminder here, heavy materials always require mechanical handling. Which brings us right to Section 4, plant and equipment management. Let's talk about the heavy machinery. When you're figuring out whether to hire or buy machinery, it's about way more than just the initial price tag. You have to look at site-specific constraints. What's the terrain like? What about the climate? You need to lock down work health and safety compliance, check the built-in environmental controls, and honestly, even consider the ergonomics, like, is the seat actually safe and comfortable for the operator? Speaking of operators, here is a massive compliance non-negotiable. Forklifts are absolute lifesavers on site, especially for moving materials to structures up to 3 stories high, but you can never let an untrained worker behind the wheel. Verifying high-risk work licenses is legally required for things like counterbalanced, side-loading, container, and reach forklift trucks. You absolutely must ensure those licenses are valid.
And to stop equipment breakdowns from completely derailing your schedule, your maintenance process has to be bulletproof. You do this by clearly separating roles. You've got your maintenance technicians, they're the ones actually turning the wrenches and executing the repairs. Then you have your maintenance supervisors. They oversee the technicians, plan the schedules, and set the daily tasks. Keep the roles clear, and the accountability stays clear.
At the end of the day, as your Genesis International College Study Guide points out, effective management of the supply of both these resources can result in cost and time savings for the project. Mastering these logistics literally impacts your bottom line. It translates your organizational skills into real, measurable project success. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. If just one ruined batch of cement or one delayed forklift delivery can totally derail your Gantt chart, how resilient is your project supply chain? Before you step onto your next site as a manager, ask yourself if your systems can actually handle the unexpected. Lean on this Topic 3 study guide to build that resilience into your daily operations. Best of luck with your studies, and we'll see you in the next explainer.